technical communications. I think we're all good here. First it was the score bug and we had some Wi-Fi issues, but now I think we're back here at Great Park, Irvine. Jake Hixenbaugh led off the top of the second inning with a ground ball out to the second baseman with the shortstop Camden Sauce. Now here's Charlie Caruso making his homecoming. He's a graduate from Nipro Sarah High School down in San Clemente, not too far away from Orange County right here. An 0-1 count now against Trey Seeley. Charlie flinches to call strike 0-2. Russo starting at catcher today for San Luis Obispo. Last time he was out there, it was game 2 against the Sonoma Stompers. 0-for-3 day, reached on an error and scored on a 2 RBI single from Royal. Here's the 0-2. 54-foot curveball bounces in front of home plate for ball 1. An easy take that time from Charlie Caruso. Caruso also grounded out to the shortstop against the Stompers and struck out swinging. Trying to hit stride here offensively in the early summer. Gavin Constantine stands on deck for San Luis Obispo. Here's the 1-2. And Caruso lines it up the middle underneath the glove of Sauce, and it rolls into center, a base hit. Caruso, a hard hit single, and Gambit Sauce couldn't corral it. Third hit of the day for SLO. Yesterday, SLO had a total of
coming to play for the Blues, second baseman number 9, Gavin Constantine.
8 base hits, and only got 3 today. Really, a lot of those came in the later innings when benches emptied, substitutes came in. So a base hit for Charlie Caruso, and it's Gavin Constantine, the 9-hole hitter for the Blues. Third baseman Pettit creeps up on the infield grass. Constantine takes the first curveball for strike 1. It's a 2-0 San Luis Obispo lead. Ryan Featherston in his first start in a Blues uniform stranded Carter Danes on second base. He hit a single very hard in the first inning. Struck out Jonathan Rodriguez to escape the mini jam. It's a 2-0 Blues. 0-1 count. Runner and Caruso takes off, and the ball is grounded right to the first baseman Rodriguez, who tapped first. Caruso advances to second, and that baseball was hugging the first base line. Barely
Coming to play for the Blues, number 50,
Rodriguez
Royal.
dove and just tapped on the bag. No chance for Constantine to get there, even if he ran at the speed of light. Unassisted put out by the first baseman Rodriguez, and Caruso advances into scoring position at second. Here's E.J. Royal, who grounded to the shortstop Sauce the first time he was up. He had a great grab in center field while the stream was down. First pitch, and Royal takes the bouncing pitch outside, 1-0. So a 2-0 Blues lead, and a 2 RBI triple from Zach Tolman in the first drove in Don Jordan and Kate O'Hara. Scoreless bottom of the first inning for the OC Riptide. Blues trying to extend with a runner at second. Backdoor pickoff, and Caruso in with the head first slide. While EJ doesn't lead the team in hits, that title goes to Don Jordan. Leads in batting average, a .390 average, and he's starting in his 16th game. Royal lines it to the second baseman Evans, who dives, makes the grab, gets up, throws it over to first, and retires Royal to end of the inning. Nice play from Evans over at second base.
In the second inning for the Blues, there were no runs on 1 hit. There were one left out of base. 3.5 complete here at Irvine. We go to the bottom of the second. Blues with the Riptide 2-0.
Riptide back up in the bottom of the second inning. They trailed 2-0 against the San Luis Obispo Blues. First pitch swinging, and it's a ground ball to left field for a base hit. Right away, Camden Sauce gets things going for the Riptide with a single off the end of the bat, a leadoff base runner for OC. Second hit of the day for Orange County.
Give it to the plate for the Riptide. Designated hitter for 30, Colby Moran.
Spent his past 2 years of college baseball at Texas Christian University, and as of 3 days ago, was a Bronco in Santa Clara. Leadoff single from Camden Sauce. It's Colby Moran now. Sauce singled on the first pitch, and the DH swings at the first pitch too and breaks his bat. And fields it foul ground, and Moran needs a new stick. So like the starting pitcher for the OC Riptide and Seeley, a Royal from Hope International University. Moran, a primary first baseman entering his senior season at Hope after a couple of years at Northwest Nazarene University, and as a matter of fact, in 2023 was second team all-conference. Played in all 50 games, added a 302 clip, a 427 OPS. Now with no batting gloves, standing in the left-handed batter's box for the OC Riptide. For the Blues, picks over to first. Runner Sauce is back with a head first slide. So once again, welcome back to the SLO Blues Streaming Network. We had some technical difficulties with the stream. I think we're all good to go now. Blues up 2-0 against the OC Riptide. Another pick at first, and in standing is Sauce. Waiting on the 0-1 count is Colby Moran, the DH today. Featherston entering his junior season at Oregon, a native of Bakersfield, California, making his first start for the Blues today. From the stretch, pitch is a called strike 0-2 to Colby Moran. 708 earned run average this past season with the Ducks, 34 in third innings pitched, had 31 strikeouts, 21 walks, and allowed 27 earned runs. Another pick over at first base, and Sauce is back in time. It's the tying run up the dish, and Colby Moran. Had 3 home runs his sophomore season at Northwest Nazarene. None so far this summer, as the pitch misses high outside from Featherston for ball 1. This summer, he has 5 hits in his 14 at-bats, has driven in 3, scored 4 runs himself, and has struck out 4 times to his 3 walks. 1-2 count. And Moran grounds it to the second baseman, Constantine. They'll go to O'Hara at second. And on to first, they turn the double play.
Here comes Omaha.
Just like that, 2 outs here for the Blues.
Omaha, wait, you gotta get the bat. Omaha has to connect this front lane, but wins the bat.
Omaha, the back dog for Orange County in his first season.
Give it the plate for the Riptide. Third baseman reporting, Brady Pettit.
Got a little distracted and said hi to Dean Trainer in the dugout for the Blues. It's Bark at the Park night here at Great Park, Irvine. There's been a couple of festivities to celebrate that so far. Here's Pettit. Featherston misses outside, ball 1. I think one of my favorites is when stadiums play the doorbell sound around the stands. The ring doorbell and just a regular doorbell, and all the dogs go crazy. 1-0. And Pettit takes a curveball for a strike. Right-handed hitting, Brady Pettit playing third and batting 7th for OC with 2 gone following 4-6-3 double play from the Blues. 1-1. And Pettit off the hands, loops it to the second baseman who leaps and can't make the grab. Gavin Constantine with a good vertical over there at second for the Blues. Can't quite make the grab here.
Going to the plate for the Riptide, 21 catcher. Jimmy Riptide.
Jimmy Zakar, the catcher, batting 8th for OC. On deck, it's Riley Hunsaker batting 1st and playing left. Zakar takes the first pitch for a strike. Jimmy batting south of 200 this season, trying to hit stride. 1 for 7 summers so far with Orange County. 0-1. And Zakar off the end of the bat will squib it to the right and foul ground for strike 2. 5 strikeouts in his 7 at-bats with 2 walks. And sometimes hard as a catcher on a summer baseball team to sort of hit stride because you're rotating with so many guys. The Blues have a 3-man rotation at catcher. It's sometimes hard to get some momentum if you're not a designated hitter as well. Average lead at first. And the 0-2 is off the end of the bat. O'Hara, the shortstop, flips it to second to get the force out. The side is retired. Riptide strand a runner at first base. It's 2-0 Blues. Into the third we go on the SLO Blues streaming network.
In the bottom of the 6th inning, quarter, Riptide runs on 1.
O'Hara walked the first time he was up and came around to score on a 2 RBI triple from Zach Tellerman. O'Hara flinches and the pitch misses outside for ball 1. Ryan Featherston looking pretty good in his first start in the Blues uniform against the OC Riptide. He's gotten a couple of singles in the 2nd inning and a double play. And a ground ball force out from Kate O'Hara at short. Retired the side. Swings and misses here. 1-1 to Cade. Tustin native, sort of making a homecoming today in Orange County, playing against the Riptide. 1-1. O'Hara pops it up into center field. To his left is Dance. He makes a flat-footed grab for the first out of the inning.
Give it to the plate for the Blues, number 18, Jordan.
Former Longhorn from the University of Texas, now in the transfer portal. Jordan singled the last time he was up in the 1st inning. One of those 2 runs to score on that triple. The first pitch, and it's taken outside, 1-0 to Don Jordan.
Yeah, I can hear him hitting the ball.
1-0. And Don pops it up into center field. Going back is Dams. He collects himself underneath the ball and makes another flat-footed grab for the second out. A couple of fly ball outs to the center fielder, Dams, and there's 2 gone for Zach
Go to
Tollerman.
the plate for the Blues, number 22, Zach Tollerman.
When the PA announcer's on, I can't hear you at all. It's like your mic's not even on.
Pitch bounces in front of home plate, 1-0 to CT. Tollerman lines it into left field, a base hit. Zach Tollerman is a perfect 2 for 2 today with the Blues. Tollerman finds the barrel for
Go
the
to the
second
plate for
time
the
today.
Blues, the beer patter for tonight, number 10, Kevin Smith.
Gavin Smith double. Runners on second and third now for San Luis Obispo, and it's Brendan Comerford. Comerford grounded out to the shortstop Sauce the last time he was up, and now has 2 runners in scoring position. First pitch, and it's a called strike. Here's the 0-1 to Brendan Comerford. He chops it high and off his front foot. It spins foul. Comerford limping around in the batter's box after taking that one off the shin. 0-2 to Brendan Comerford. Could be a big moment here for the Blues. Comerford this summer 17 runs batted in for San Luis Obispo. That leads the team. He's looking for 18 and 19 at least right now. Blues already up 2-0 against the OC Riptide. Buckley getting hot for the Riptide in the bullpen. Trey Seeley trying to work out of a jam here after a very successful season playing NAIA baseball with Hope International. Here's the 0-2. Comerford chases a slider outside. That's strike 3. First, and Comerford's out on the drop third strike.
In the top of the third inning for the Blues, doing a runs on 2 hits. No errors, over 2 left on base. 2.5 complete here. Irvine will go to the top of the third inning. Blues with the Riptide 2-0. All that.
So Brendan Comerford struck out and strand 2 runners in scoring position for the Blues. Now it's the Riptide's turn. They're trailing 2-0 against San Luis Obispo, and they're coming in hot after a win against the Conejo Oaks. And the first pitch to the leadoff man, Riley Hunsaker, is taken high and outside for ball 1. It's Ryan Featherston back out there for the Blues, making his San Luis Obispo debut. Looked pretty good so far, gotten out of a couple jams against the County Riptide. Pitch missing low and inside, 2 balls and no strikes. An extra base hit from Gavin Smith in the third. It was a double. He ended up on second base, and Talman with a 2-out single stranded at third. 2-0 when it's off the hands of the first baseman, Tellerman, who will race to the bag and touch it himself for the first out of the inning. Unassisted putout for Zach Tellerman over at first, and now it's Brad Navarro. Navarro, one of the, and I mean the hottest hitters in the CCL. Navarro actually used to be a Blue himself. He played for San Luis Obispo last summer, but only played in 5 games wearing the blue and yellow. 5 hits in his 19 at-bats, and he sways in the left-handed batter's box with an open stance. Navarro takes a first pitch breaking ball in their first strike. So Bradley's been around a little bit. He spent his first season in Ann Arbor with the Michigan Wolverines. Started in 14 games there and had an underwhelming season batting .186. But then transferred to Cypress College up the road here from Irvine with the Chargers as he fouls it out of play, strike 2, and had a spectacular season there. .358 batting average, a .471 on base, and a .613 slugging. Drove in 36 runs on his 49 hits, 16 extra base hits, and now he's committed to play for the Utes at the University of Utah. Infield shifted to the pull side of Navarro as he grounds it right near the shift. Tellerman dives and flips it over to first base. Featherston right on the bag, and the second out of the inning. Zach Tellerman having himself a ball game. Good defense over at first and good offensive production, going 2 for 2 with a triple and a single. Nice play that time from ZT. 2 gone here in the third inning.
Coming to the plate for the Riptide number 49, Strikeout.
Here's Jake Evans now. Evans flew out to E.J. Royal in center field the last time he was up, and Royal made a great catch. Here's a pitch that's taken inside for ball one. Evans, the second baseman for the Riptide, is a native of Long Beach, California, and is a dirtbag from Long Beach State. Here's the 1-0. And a curveball taken on the outer half, 1 ball and 1 strike. Evans just played his true freshman season at Long Beach State this past year and started in 27 games, playing both second and third base. 1-1. Flinches on a pitch, then misses in the dirt outside, 2 balls and a strike. 19 hits in his 99 at-bats, 4 doubles and 3 homers. Driving in 13 runs as well, walked 17 times and was hit by a pitch 6. Featherston comes set from the stretch. Blues playing it in their regular positioning in the field. 2-1 is a hard liner into right field, and that's a base hit. The Riptide bats are so good year in and year out, and they just collect singles, and that's exactly what Jake Evans just did with 2 outs.
Coming to the plate for the Riptide, 13, Carter Dans.
So here's Carter Dans now. Dan's a two-way player from Northwestern University and saying hello to his former teammate Charlie Caruso squatting behind home plate. Caruso, of course, a Northwestern Wildcat himself, and a little bit of a reunion here. Dan swings at the first pitch and chops it in front of the Blues dugout for strike 1. Not only did Dans and Caruso both play this past season at Northwestern, but they grew up somewhat in the same area. Southern California is a large area, but Dans in Newport Beach. 0-1. And he takes the pitch outside, a ball and a strike to Carter Dans. This season so far for OC, entering today's game, but before he hit a single in the first, was 4 for 14 and drove in 4 runs. 5 strikeouts to his 3 walks, a .286 batting average. Pick over at first, and Evans is back safely. Much quicker tempo in today's ball game versus yesterday against the Academy Barons. Took the Blues almost 2 hours to get out of the first third of the game. 1-1. Bouncing ball missing inside. Caruso thought about backdooring over at first base, but he holds the baseball. And Dans, before his first season of college baseball at Northwestern, was named an impact freshman by Big Ten Division I Baseball.com. But after his first season playing for the Wildcats, is now in the transfer portal. Another pick over at first, and Evans is back in time again. And before that, a high school baseball player at Corona Del Mar High School. He was ranked the 42nd outfielder in the state of California by Perfect Game, and he played in the OC All-Star game right here at Great Park Irvine. A 2-1. Pitch missing outside, 3 balls and 1 strike now. In the Orange County All-Star baseball game, he was named MVP. Wearing the beautiful blue-on-blue uniforms they have at Corona Del Mar, the baby blue tops with the navy blue lettering. Average lead at first base for Evans, the pitch. It's popped up high in the air to left. Hixenbaugh giving chase to his right, backpedaling, and makes the grab with his heels on the warning track for the 3rd out of the inning. So 2-out single from Jake Evans, but a pop-out from Dans ends the inning. Blues still up 2-0 as we head into the 4th on the SLO Blues streaming network.
Blues lead the Riptide.
New pitcher in for the Orange County Riptide. It's the right-hander committed to the University of Missouri, Caden Muckley, a former wrestler from Golden West Community College as well. He will face the bottom third of the order for San Luis Obispo, Jake Hicksonbaugh, Charlie Caruso, and Gavin Constantine. The Blues up 2-0 over the Riptide following a disastrous 20-3 loss from last night against the Academy Barons. Barons actually just lost a game 1-0 against the Arroyo Seco Saints. How about that? A stark contrast in offense for the Barons these past two nights as Jake Hicksonbaugh swings and misses at the first pitch for strike one. Hicksonbaugh grounded out to the second baseman Evans last time he was up, getting a start in left field after quite a long time coming off the bench. Muckley comes set, delivers, and Hicksonbaugh takes strike two. So Trey Seeley's day is done after 3 innings of work. He allowed 5 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned, a walk and 2 strikeouts. And now it's the righty from Golden West, Caden Muckley. The 0-2 misses high, and Hicksonbaugh takes it for ball one. 6'5", 220-pound right-hander. Went to San Diego High School before playing for Golden West. Here's the 1-2. Hicksonbaugh hits a line drive into center field. Dans ranges to his left and makes the running grab. A line out from Jake Hicksonbaugh. There's one out in the 4th inning. That brings up Charlie Caruso, who slapped a single the first time he was up. Caruso redshirted at his Northwestern University, but looking for some more playing time this season with the Wildcats. Caruso, the left-handed hitting catcher, twitching in the batter's box, awaiting the offering from Muckley with 1 out. The pitch, and Caruso takes it for strike one. From Pasadena, California, and a graduate of J. Sarah Catholic, down in San Clemente, not too far away from Irvine here. Ranked as the 22nd best catcher in the state of California by perfect game. The 0-1. And Caruso takes a fastball in the inner half for strike two. 6'1", 190-pound catcher Charlie Caruso. A 1-for-1 day with the Blues. Gavin Constantine stands on deck. The 9-hitter for Dean Traynor and his roster. The 0-2. Caruso takes it down the middle for strike three. Charlie Caruso is caught looking, and there's 2 gone in the 4th inning. Two outs, Blues up 2-0 over the Riptide, and it's Gavin Constantine. Constantine hit one of the most unlucky balls I've ever seen. A ground ball that hugged the first baseline. Rodriguez, the first baseman for the Riptide, dove to his left, and all he had to do was just lay on top of the bag, and Constantine was out. Gavin takes the first pitch high and inside, 1-0. The second baseman batting 9th for the Blues enters in at St. Bonaventure University for the Bonnies in upstate New York. 1-0. Takes a heavy fastball here, 1 ball and 1 strike. Blues have struck out 3 times today, 2 swinging and 1 looking, but have rallied across 5 base hits and scored 2 runs. Only 1 walk today, and it came from Kate O'Hara in the first. 1-1. Constantine rolls inside on a curveball that leads 2-1. From the stretch, Muckley comes set and delivers. Pitch yanked outside. 3 balls and 1 strike from Muckley, the new pitcher. And there is another right-hander getting loose in the bullpen for the Orange County Riptide, too. Bullpen completely empty for San Luis Obispo, and that looks like Danny Suarez getting hot for the Riptide. The 3-1. And Constantine will take a strike and fill up the count at 3-2. The leadoff man, E.J. Royal, stands on deck. He's hitless today. Strides and shoots on the payoff, and Constantine goes down swinging for strike 3.
Gavin Constantine strikes out, and we head to the bottom half of the fourth inning. The Blues still up 2-0 over the OC Riptide, as this next inning is brought to you by Studio Design Group Architects. Jonathan Rodriguez leads it off for the Orange County Riptide. Middle of the order, due up for OC. It's Rodriguez, Camden Sauce, and Colby Moran. Riptide trailing by 2 against San Luis Obispo, with Ryan Featherston back out there for his fourth inning of work in his first start in the blue uniform. From the stretch with no outs, the pitch. And it misses outside for ball 1. Rodriguez, a first baseman from Long Beach State University, entering his second season with the Dirtbags this year. A sigh from Featherston, and a big wave and a miss on a changeup here. 1 ball and 1 strike to Rodriguez, who struck out swinging to end the first inning the last time he was up. Rodriguez, I checked that, from Golden West, committed to UNLV. And he takes it outside, and that's ball 2. Last season with the Rustlers at Golden West, the 2025 All-Orange Empire Conference first team. And that's no easy task. The Orange Empire Conference is one of the most coveted junior college leagues in the country. So many good teams in that league, and to get first team All-League is impressive. And he takes a pitch outside here, 3-1 to Rodriguez. Johnny with 6 home runs, 72 hits, 16 doubles, a triple, .414 batting average, and a .621 slugging in 40 games played. Those are D1 numbers, and he'll be a Rebel next year at UNLV. 3-1, and he fouls it straight back, and a full count now, 3 balls and 2 strikes. And so far this summer with the OC Riptide, before today's game, a .281 batting average and a .531 slugging, 1 home run in his 9 hits in 32 at-bats, 7 strikeouts to his 1 walk. The lefty with an open stance and baby blue BGs on the payoff pitch. Swings and pops it up into right field. Don Jordan circles around and will make the grab with 2 hands for the first out of the 4th inning. Pop out to right, and 1 gone in the 4th. It's Camden Sauce. Sauce hit a single in the 2nd inning and was forced out at second, a part of a 4-6-3 double play. A recent commit of Santa Clara University after a couple of seasons with the Horned Frogs at TCU. First pitch missing outside to Sauce, 1-0. A native of Alpine, California, and when he was in high school, won the San Diego Section CIF Division I championship with Granite Hills High. 1-0. He takes a pitch in, 2 balls and no strikes. This past season, in his true sophomore year with the Horned Frogs, he made 7 appearances on the year. defensive appraisement 5 times, a pinch runner once, a pinch hitter once, and only had 3 at-bats on the year. Liner into right center field. It brings Royal back right in front of the warning track, and he makes the grab as his hat falls off. 2 fly ball outs and 2 gone for Ryan Featherston as Colby Moran digs in.
Coming to the plate for the Riptide 30, designated hitter, Colby Moran.
Moran, a first baseman, born and raised in Murrieta, California. 6'2", 235-pound senior from Hope International University. Hope, always up there year in and year out as a top NAIA program. They made it to the championship this year, but fell short to Louisiana State Shreveport, who had an undefeated year. First pitch is a called strike, 0-1. It's not a bad team to fall to. You have a great year like Hope International did, and you run into, the best. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3, a drop third strike, but Caruso's got it, and he'll throw it over to Tallman at first base to retire the side. 3 up, 3. We head into the 5th inning. Blues still up 2-0 on the SLO Blues streaming network.
St. Louis, Orange County 2-0.
It's a new pitcher for the Orange County Riptide in the top half of the 5th inning. Blues up 2-0 over the Tide. 1-2-3 due up for the Blues. Danny Suarez, a 4-year anteater from UC Irvine, just down the road from Great Park, Irvine. Caden Muckley's short outing is done. 2 innings of work and just 2 strikeouts. A 1-2-3 inning retiring Hicksonbaugh, Caruso, and Constantine in order. Now it's the leadoff man, Royal, who doesn't have a base hit yet today. The team leader in batting average takes strike 1 against Suarez, 0-1. A 2 RBI triple inning scored Don Jordan and Kate O'Hara as Royal takes a pitch here, 1-1. And that's it for San Luis Obispo and for both sides today. Ryan Featherston making his first start in a Blues uniform today after his second at 3. That game got out of their hands quickly, though, and ended up being a 20 loss against the Academy, 1-1. He hits it hard to the shortstop, Sauce, who gobbles it up, throws it over to first, and a nice stretch from Rodriguez retires Ardois for the second out of the inning. 2 quick ones for the new pitcher, Danny Suarez, and now it's Donovan Jordan. Jordan is 1 for 2 with a single in the first and a fly ball out into center field in the third. Base is empty with 2 outs, and the Blues up 2-0 over the Riptide. And Jordan almost hit by a pitch, and he gets out of the way for ball 1. Don Jordan in the transfer portal after a season at the University of Texas where he saw no action because the injuries just kept coming for him. A hamate bone and then a rib. 1-0. Jordan buckled up on an off speed, and it's a called strike. 1-1 to Don. From the windup, here comes Suarez. And Jordan will take a painted fastball, 1-2. Suarez hasn't pitched for the Riptide yet this season. He's making his season debut. Jordan chases the sweeper outside for strike 3. Don Jordan goes down swinging. 3 up, 3 down for the SLO Blues. Halfway through at Great Park, Irvine. Blues up 2-0 on the SLO Blues streaming network.
So what's going up that base? 4.5 complete here in Irvine. They go to the bottom.
Brady Pettit leads it off for the OC Riptide in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Bottom half of the order due up for the Tide as Pettit takes strike 1 against Ryan Featherston, who is wheeling and dealing in his first outing in a Blues uniform, and right on time for Dean Traynor as he has limited bullpen options this road trip. First pitch, and it misses inside, 1-1. So Cade O'Hara is out of this game, and we can only assume that he will come in to relieve Ryan Featherston later in this game, as Cade is a two-way player, so Ardois is now at short, replacing O'Hara. 1-1, and a pitch misses outside. 2 balls and a strike now to Brady Pettit. Blues went 3 up, 3 down in the top half of the 5th inning, up 2-0 against the Tide. All the action came in the first on a 2 RBI triple from Tollerman. Both sides have been quiet ever since. Fouled up and out of play. Brady Pettit on strike 2. Pettit this season, entering today's game, only had 7 at-bats. 2 for 7, drove in a couple of runs, struck out twice, and walked once. 2-2. And Pettit leaves it offering low and outside and fills up the count at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Featherston awaits on the payoff pitch, and the righty from Oregon comes set from the stretch. He strides and shoots. Fastball taken on the outer half, strike 3. And Brady Pettit goes down looking, and Ryan Featherston, that's his 3rd strikeout of the day. Pettit now 1 for 2 as Jimmy Zakar steps in. Zakar, today's catcher for OC, grounded out to then O'Hara for the final out of the 2nd inning. He's 0 for 1 today. First pitch, and Zakar pops it up off the end of the bat and out of play for strike 1. Zakar, a UC Santa Barbara Gaucho. Blues will head to Santa Barbara tomorrow to play against their Foresters. He's a transfer from Irvine Valley College, and last season for the Gauchos, the hitter Zakar appeared in 7 games as a defensive replacement and a pinch hitter. Swinging a foul tip off the foot of the home plate umpire for strike 2. He recorded a hit in his first 2 plate appearances on the season, and limited action, obviously, for the Gauchos. Looking for more playing time this next season. But at Irvine Valley College in 2024, he slashed .247, .365, and .472 in 19 games with 3 doubles, 3 home runs, and drove a 9 his final season of JUCO baseball. He also homered in back-to-back games at Cypress on March 21st and 22nd. Again, that's a part of the Orange Empire league here in Southern California, one of the most dominant junior college baseball leagues in the country. There's just talent scattered everywhere in the baseball hotbed that is Southern California. The 0-2, and Zakar will take strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts looking from Ryan Featherston, and there's 2 gone.
Go to the plate for the Riptide, number 25, Riley Hunsaker.
Here's Riley Hunsaker. An unassisted putout at first base from Zach Tellerman in the 3rd, the last time he was up. Hunsaker, a Lancer from Cal Baptist University. Grew up in Highland, California, and a transfer from the University of Southern California, as he's now in an 0-1 count against Featherston, who's been good at getting strike 1 against these hitters. He attacks the zone early, he pounds it with the fastball, and we knew that coming into it as a strike thrower, but at Oregon he was batted around a little bit. This time against the Riptide, they're having a tough time getting the bat off the shoulders, as now Hunsaker is in an 0-2 count against Featherston. The pitch, and dodges a ball inside. Hunsaker now 1-2. Hunsaker's a two-way player as well. Left fielder and pitcher made 9 appearances last season for the Lancers and had a .270 earned run average, only pitching in 6 2/3 innings with 8 strikeouts and 8 hits. 1-2, and he takes that for strike 3. Featherston strikes out the side. They all go down looking. Dominant inning for the Oregon Duck as we head into the 6th. Blues up 2-0 on the SLO Blues streaming network in an inning that's brought to you by Ancient Owl Beer Garden. Middle of the order, due up for San Luis Obispo, Zach Tellerman, Gavin Smith, and Brendan Comerford. In this inning for the Blues, they're up 2-0 over the Orange County Riptide, and it's the UC Irvine Anteater Danny Suarez back out there for the Tide. The right-hander who is pounding the zone with fastballs for the Blues. They had trouble picking it up back in the 5th. Tallman's first pitch swinging, and he dribbles it into the Orange County dugout for strike 1. ZT is having himself a day for the Blues. A 2 RBI triple in the first and a 2-out single in the third. A perfect 2-for-2 day. The right-hander from San Jose State.